what I really want to talk about is our 12 trends that will shape travel journalism. Here's what I think will shape travel journalism in the next 5 years. 3 biggest businesses on the planet are travel, education, and health. And they're increasingly going to drive each other's fortunes. And more about that in a minute. Travel is arguably the biggest business in the world. And let's put that in perspective. The size of the global tourism industry is $4.6 trillion. The software business is $500 million. The travel industry employs 250 million people compared to 20 million people in the software industry. So what do I see happening in the next 3 or 4 years? So I'm not clairvoyant here, but I do think that I have a pretty good idea of what we're facing, and some of the strategies that I'm putting in place now, I think will help at least my magazine, and I think there's some lessons to be learned for every journalist in this room. One of the things I've never done is I've never thought demographically. I think that people tend to do that. They say, oh, you know, my magazine is for 18 to 34 or whatever. I tend to think psychographically. It's always been about how people travel, why they travel. It's an instinct that we have. I came by travel honestly. I loved to do it, and I've continued to do it. It's kind of a magical thing for me. And as I've done the magazine over the last 10 years, I've realized that you can't make travel a business. It is a passion. And I'm sure that every one of you in this room is doing it for more than just making it. You're doing it because you really love to travel. So here's what I think will shape travel journalism in the next 5 years and beyond. Number 1, I think luxury is over. It's a fair bet that the travel industry will continue to get hammered for the next year or so in the aftermath of the financial crisis. There will be, as there was after 9/11, a desire to cut corners, to hunker down. But in tough times, people really turn to core values: spirituality, community, family. And now's the time to take advantage of that. To marry the essence of what I call geotourism, which is a sense of the world, and genotourism, which is a sense of generations. And I'll talk about that in a moment. We face a generational imperative. At no time in our history has there been so many old people and so many young people on the planet at the same time. Young people have energy and idealism, and they want a good future to look forward to. Old people have money, you think, I'm still good, more time, and a desire to leave a sound legacy for their kids. We as journalists, as professionals in the travel business, need to take advantage of that opportunity. It's not only a moral thing to do, it's good business. The world's wealth explosion has certainly hit a field of landmines. And there's this new emerging group, which somebody named Yawns. Yawns are young, wealthy, and normal. The Yawns value, not ostentatious. It's a new group of wealthy that aren't interested in luxury. They're interested in seeking out a different kind of travel experience. They seek transformation. They want to learn, they want to grow, they want to have experiences. And they want a sense of, quote unquote, being where they are. The words that they respond to: rare, emotional, spiritual, cultural, authentic, artistic, ethical, socially aware, sustainable. They want to be socially integrated into the world's cultural fabric. So suddenly we don't have this travel business that's after luxury. We have this travel business that's after experience. People really want to bring home something that's meaningful. The second thing that's going to be really important for every journalist in the room is that the transportation infrastructure has got to change. And it will. Trains, boats, planes, cars. I don't have a blueprint for this, but James Fallows wrote a piece for the Atlantic Monthly about a year and a half ago on how he saw the demise of the airline industry. We know that Amtrak is more than viable. You now when I go to New York, I go by bus. I don't go by train. I don't go by plane. As energy, fiscal, and environmental policies converge, we're going to see a whole new travel landscape. The way we travel is just going to be transformed. And I would urge you all to look at how we get from one place to another as being key to how we develop our destinations and our stories. The third point is sort of wake up America. And I can say this because I'm Canadian. But America sort of thought of itself as the center of the travel universe. But we've got to get serious about travel because our share of the travel pie can shrink. The U.S. has set the world travel agenda for the last 50 years. That's over. It's remarkable to me that we do not have a national U.S. travel policy. We don't have a U.S. Office of Travel Policy. It just assumes that everybody wants to come here. If we don't think we need to compete with other countries for share of vacation, we're nuts. I think it's very important for us to look at our travel industry in a competitive way. We are fighting for share of attention with every other country.